Salam sejahtera ya. So, hari ini saya akan bincangkan ellipse. Okay. So, mari kita mula.
So number one, where we have the standard form. So x minus h bracket square over a square plus bracket y minus k bracket square over b square equals to 1. So where we have the standard form. Second step, what we have to do is to determine the center where we have hk. So kindly compare with the standard form and then obtain the value for hk. Step number 3 is to identify the value of a, then b, followed by the formula where we have c is equals to square root of a squared minus b squared. Step number 3 is to identify the value of a, then b, followed by the formula where we have c is equals to square root of a squared minus b squared, or where we have c is equals to square root of b squared minus a squared. So mainly it depends on the situation. If the situation for square root of a squared minus b squared, meaning that the value of a must be greater than b. Whereas for the second case, where we have the square root of b squared minus a squared, and the value of a is less than b. Next, what we have to do is to find the major length. So meaning that we have to refer to the major axis where we have the value a and b. So it depends on the value a and b. If the value of a is bigger than b, so the x-axis will be the major axis. So if for the cases where the value b is greater than a, so the major axis will be the y. So after we determine the major axis, number 5, identify the minor length and the axis. Then followed by step number 6, having the graph. Finally, state down the vertices.
Okay. So, kalau rujuk kepada sini, ini adalah intro for ellipse. Okay. So, maksudnya you kena ikut flow. Kalau you ikut flow, tak kisah soalan yang macam mana pun, you fill up, okay, atau you fill in the blank, all these things, for sure, you mesti boleh dapat jawapan ellipse. Faham? Ikut flow. So, yang pertama adalah standard form lah. Standard form. Boleh ikut standard form. Maksudnya bentuk you mesti ini. Belakang ini mesti 1. Okay? So, if you expand this situation, then you will obtain general form lah for ellipse. Okay? And then after that, rujuk center, HK, A, B refers to A and B. So, A dengan B ni penting. Kalau nilai A greater than B, so this one will be your major axis. If the value A is greater than B, meaning your X is a major. If the value B is greater than A, then Y will be your major axis. If Y is a major, automatically X is a minor. Okay, vice versa. Then, in order to find C, later on C ini kita akan guna untuk cari value for foci. Slowly. Okay, slowly. Intro. So, if the value A is greater than B, then we are using this formula, where A squared minus B squared. If the value B is greater than A, then we are using B squared minus A squared. So, it depends on the situation. Then we will have major length, minor length, graph, and vertices. So this is just an intro. Continue.
So now let's have a look for the example. So given the situation where we have the standard form of ellipse, so the question asks us to find the vertices, foci, and center for the ellipse. Hence, sketch the graph. So step number 1, kindly compare the situation with the standard form. So where we have x plus 5 bracket square over a squared. So in here, we have 4 squared plus bracket y minus 4 bracket square over 3 squared equals to 1. So this is what we have the standard form. Second step, we have to determine the center. So by comparing the situation, x minus h bracket square over a squared plus with y minus k bracket squared over b squared is equals to 1. So if we compare the situation, the center is equals to hk. So the h will be -5 and the k will be 4.
Okay, take note. Nampak tak apa yang saya buat? Saya compare. First step. Kemudian, second step is to find the center. So, just to remind, refers to value x. This one refers to value y. So, kadang-kadang soalan akan terbalik. So, you jangan ingat, depan ini adalah nilai x. Belakang nilai y. Tak semesti. So, mohon rujuk. This one belongs to value x. This one belongs to value y. Untuk tentukan you punya center. So next is to find the value A, B, and C.
After that, we have to determine the value of A, where we have 4, and then B is equals to 3. So notice that the value of A is greater than B. So the major axis will be the X, whereas for the minor axis will be Y. Focus with number 4. Identify the C. So square root of, where we have a squared minus b squared. So 16 minus 9. So C will be equals to square root of 7. Next, what we have to do is to...
So nampak? Dari sini, saya dapat value A. Okay, value B. So kena ingat 16 adalah 4 squared. 9 adalah 3 squared. So value A is 4, B is 3. So 4 is greater than 3. So meaning that A is greater than B. So major axis will be your x-axis. And then minor automatically will be belongs to y. So following step is to find the value C. Okay, so tak payah fikir banyak. Yang penting adalah nilai yang besar tolak nilai yang kecil. Itu saja. Faham? 16 minus 9. Copy, paste. Then square root of 7. Jawapan biarkan macam ni. Jangan pergi tekan calculator. Kalau you tekan calculator, jawapan you dah tak tepat. Okay, so kita dah ada 1, 2, 3, 4. Seterusnya kita nak cari dia punya graph. Okay, kita nak cari dia punya graph. For vertices, foci, center for the ellipse, and sketch the graph.
By referring to the graph. So kindly refers to the graph. So now what we have to do is to have the location for center, where we have -5, 4. So here we have the center, C, -5, 4. So meaning that we will have the major axis. So the intersection point between the minor and the major axis is the center of the ellipse. Next, what we have to do is to identify the vertices for the major axis and also the minor axis. So kindly refers to A, where it is the x-axis. So meaning that we have to shifting for 4 units to the left and also the right, because we are moving in the x-axis. So meaning that in here we have -5 shifting 4 units to the left. So we will have -6, -7, -8, and -9. So here will be the vertices for the major axis, -9, 4. Next, what we have to do is to shift right hand side, shift towards the right hand side for 4 units. So where we will have -4, -3, -2, and -1. So here will be the location for another vertices, or we can say the major vertices, where we have -1 and 4.
Okay, so bila kita buat graf, kita perlu rujuk nilai-nilai yang ada. So A, dia mesti gerak kiri, kanan. Faham? Mesti kiri, kanan. So kalau boleh jadikan amalan lah atau kebiasaan, A adalah kiri, kanan. Jangan sekejap kanan, kemudian kiri. Okay, soalan yang lain pula kiri, kemudian kanan. Jangan tukar-tukar selalu, kena biasakan diri. That's why saya kata kena follow the flow. Faham? So dia macam you punya mathematics translation. Okay, for unit 1, 2, 3, and 4. Jawapan. Ini pun sama, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sama. Boleh? Boleh ya? So seterusnya nak B. B mesti bergerak di Y. Iaitu going up for 3 unit, going down for 3 unit. So yang paling penting adalah guna pengiraan unit ini untuk soalan ellipse. Kalau you faham ini saja, tak kisah soalan apa yang datang pun tiada masalah. Boleh ikut?
Next, kindly refers to B. So the B refers to the y-axis. So meaning that we have to shift upwards or downwards for 3 units. If we are shifting upwards for 3 units, so we will have 4, 5, 6, and 7. So here will be the location for the minor vertices, and we will have -5 and 7. Again, repeat the situation. Now we are going to shifting downwards for 3 units. So where we will have 4, then 3, 2, 1. So here we have the minor vertices and name it as -5 and 1. Next, we have to illustrate the situation. So here we have the situation for ellipse. So from here, we are going to find the major length. So refers to this part, major lengths. So what is the major length? Major length is the length starting from -9 until this part, where we have -1. So in here, the major length is 8 units. Okay, because here we have 4 units, here same goes to 4 units. So add on, we will have 8 units. Next, what we have to do is to focus on the minor length. So if for the minor length, kindly refers to this part where we have 7, and then this part where we have 1. So the minor length will be 6 units. Next, what we have to do is to identify the major and minor vertices. So as for the major,
so sekarang boleh faham what is major length. Major length rujuk kepada major axis punya length. So biasanya kita darab 2. Okay. Minor length untuk kawasan ini. Okay. Kita tahu ini 3 unit kan. So darab 2 jadi 6 unit lah. So whatever it is, kena darab 2. Okay. So bila you darab 2, itu forward lah. Kejap nanti dia bagi you vertices sahaja. You kena tentukan dia punya major length, then you divide by 2 in order to get the A and B. So dia tak semesti dia sentiasa flow dia macam ni. Dia akan stir you atau kacau you dalam different aspect. So kena berhati-hati. So seterusnya nak dapatkan major atau minor vertices, ini kita panggil major vertices. Ini kita panggil minor vertices. So kita just bagi semua bahan untuk dia. Boleh? Seterusnya kita nak tentukan foci. Merujuk kepada C ni, kita nak tentukan foci. So foci selalunya dia bergerak di major axis. Faham? Foci selalu bergerak di major axis. Bukan selalu, mesti bergerak di major axis. So macam biasa, untuk soalan ni ke kiri dan ke kanan. Sebanyak square root of 7.
So for the foci, the answer will be -5 minus -7, 4. Or n -5 plus -7, 4 with the coordinate. So here we are, and thanks for watching.
Boleh? Faham ah? Ini dia punya flow. So seterusnya saya akan bincang example 21. Example 21 pun sama, ellipse standard form. Cuma tadi major axis kita adalah X kan? So kita punya ellipse dia gemuk. Faham? Sebab bergerak ke kiri kanan dia gemuk sikit. Berbanding dengan yang ini. Yang ini dia punya major axis adalah Y axis. So harap you ikut flow dia.
So given the standard form, so find the vertices, foci, and the center for the ellipse. Hence, sketch the graph. So kindly compare the situation. So step number 1, rewrite the situation in the standard form. So where we have x plus 5 bracket squared over 9 over 4 plus y minus 4 bracket square over 25 over 4 equals to 1. Then compare the situation where we have h and k. So rewrite the situation. Center is equals to hk, where we have -5 and 4, followed by the value a. So the value a will be 3 over 2, and the value b is equals to 5 over 2. So in here we notice that the value b is greater than the a. So means that here we have the major, and this one is the minor, which is the x-axis. Next, what we have to do is to find the value of c. So for this case, c squared is equals to b squared minus a squared, because the value b is greater than the value a. So where we will have 25 over 4 minus 9 over 4. So c squared is equals to 16 over 4. So where we have c is equals to 2.
Okay. So dari sini you nampak tak apa yang saya buat? 4 over 9 kita perlu ubah dia jadi standard form yang begini. Okay. So B pun sama, kena ubah jadi standard form begini. So berhati-hatilah dekat kawasan ni, harap you dapat pengalaman. Dan macam biasa cari center, cari A, cari B, cari C. Okay. So 16 over 4 adalah 4. C squared equals to 4. C equals to 2. So format dia macam ni. So kena tahulah 3 over 2 tu adalah 1.5. 5 over 2 tu adalah 2.5. Agak susah sikit untuk you agak. So bila you punya nilai A, B, C dah selesai, next adalah sketch graph.
Next, what we have to do is to sketch the graph. So now kindly locate the center where we have -5 and 4. Then sketch the major and minor axis. So where we have the center C, -5 and 4. Next is to sketch the major axis and the minor. So in this part, the major is the y axis. So next what we have to do is to refers to the value a. So in here, the value a, it refers to the x-axis. So meaning that we have to shift shifting 3/2 units towards the left and then towards the right for the x-axis. So as we notice that 3/2 actually is equals to 1.5. So meaning that in here we will have -5, then -6, then we have -7. So here we have 1.5, so automatically our minor vertices will be around -5 minus with -5 minus 3/2. So our answer will be -13/2, 4 for the minor vertices. Next, what we have to do is to shifting towards the right for 1.5 unit. So here we will have -4 and then we have -3. So here we will have the minor vertices. So -5 plus 1.5. So the answer would be -7/2, 4 for the minor vertices. Next, what we have to do is to focus on the value B. So for the value B, we have to shift upward for 2.5 and shift downwards for 2.5. So here we will have -4. We have to add on 2.5. -5. So we will have 4, 5. So we will have 4. So we have to shift for 2.5 unit. 5, 6, and 7. So the major vertices will be around here, where the value will be -5, then 13/2. Shifting downwards for 2.5 units, so the location will be around here. So the major vertices will be -5 and then 4 minus 2.5. So the answer will be 3/2. So basically, that will be the graph. So kindly sketch the graph.
So sekarang, you nampak tak? Kita bergerak ke kiri, bergerak ke kanan dengan merujukkan nilai A. Kita bergerak atas dan bawah dengan rujuk nilai B. Faham? So apa-apa pun kena ikut arahan. So mungkin susah untuk you imagine, tapi you kena biasakan diri untuk imagine. Macam mana nak buat you punya graph. So dia perlukan praktis lah. Guna soalan yang sama untuk praktis semula benda yang sama, tak mengapa. Yang penting you biasakan dulu. Next adalah nilai C kan. C itu adalah foci. Merujuk kepada situasi ini, foci you adalah di sini, iaitu nilai Y. So foci you mungkin di atas, satu lagi di bawah. Boleh? So sekarang saya perlu sketch the graph. Nampak? Tadi gemuk, sekarang dia tinggi sikit. Sebab kita punya axis lah, siapa major. So seterusnya adalah untuk nak cari foci.
So for the major length, it refers to y-axis. So by referring to the value B, so 2 multiplied with 5/2, so the major length will be 5 units. As for the minor length, kindly refers to the x-axis, and 2 multiplied with 3/2, so we will have 3 units. Next, write down the major vertices. So it refers to the green in color. So the major vertices will be -5, 13/2, -5, 3/2. As for the minor vertices, so we have to refer to the blue in color, where we have -13/2, 4, and we have -7/2, 4. So that will be the major and minor vertices. Next, what we have to do is to find out the foci. So we have to refer to the C, which is 2 in units. So means that we have to shifting 2 units upwards and shifting downwards 2 units. So here will be the foci. Here will be our foci. So what is our foci? Kindly focus on the center. If we are shifting upwards for 2 units, means that -5 referring to the 4, we have to add on 2 units, so we will have 6. Next one, -5, by looking at the 4, we have to minus 2 units. So the answer will be -5, 2. So here will be our foci. So here we are. And
so nampak cara dia? So you kena ikut flow. Okay, kena ikut flow. Buat masa ini you belajar kan, you kena fill out everything yang ada dalam 1 until 7 dalam ellipse tadi. Okay, baru you akan faham apa yang tengah berlaku dalam ellipse. So kalau ellipse yang paling power adalah you perlu sketch. Once you sketch sahaja, you akan nampak apa yang you nak. Okay, maklumat tadi. So next kita akan bergerak ke example 22. So sekarang kita ada example 22. Okay, so example 22, fokus saya adalah tadi saya bagi example standard form kan. Sekarang saya bagi you general form. Okay, dah dapat general form, baru kita buat dia jadi standard form, then baru kita kembali ke step macam example 20 and 21.
So kindly refers to the questions, shows that where we have 9x squared plus y squared minus 108x minus 4y plus 319 is equals to 0 represent an ellipse. So that is the first part of the questions. So now I'm going to show the situation, means that we have to represent the situation in the standard form. So my suggestion would be completing the square. So rewrite the situation, or we can categorize the variable. So 9x squared minus 108x plus we have y squared minus 4y plus with 319 equals to 0. So in order to completing the square, we must make sure that the coefficients for x squared is 1. So meaning we have to factor the 9. So we have x squared minus 12x. So let's begin with the completing the square for x squared minus 12x. So where we will have 9 bracket x squared minus 12x plus bracket negative 12 over 2 squared minus negative 12 over 2 squared. Simplify the situation. 9 bracket x minus 6 bracket square minus have negative 6 square. So meaning that we have negative 36. Focus on the second part. Expand the situation. So 9 multiplied with x minus 6 bracket square minus with 9 multiplied with the negative 36, we will have negative 324. Let's move on to the y. Y squared minus 4y plus bracket negative 4 over 2 squared minus negative 4 over 2 squared plus 319 equals to 0. Simplify the situation. Plus y minus 2 bracket square minus with 4 plus with 319 equals to 0. So rewrite the situation. Plus bracket y minus 2 bracket square plus 315 after we simplify the situation. So next what we have to do is to rewrite the situation. So we have 9 multiplied with x minus 6 square plus bracket y minus 2 bracket square equals to, kindly focus on negative 324 plus with 315, so we will have negative 9. Transfer the negative 9 from the left to the right, so we will have 9. Next, what we have to do is to divide all the terms with 9 so that the 9 become 1, which is the standard form.
So nampak apa yang saya buat? So sekarang saya completing the square. Okay, so saya bagi you contoh yang bukan 1. So saya factor out. Okay, setelah saya factor out, kemudian saya completing the square, akhirnya saya multiply semula untuk dapatkan saya punya bentuk. Rujuk kepada hijau, dia punya coefficient adalah 1. So, you boleh buat macam biasa, completing the square. So, akhirnya you dapat ini. Apa yang you perlu buat adalah, you kena pastikan the belakang ini mesti 1. Sebab ini adalah standard form punya format. So, that's why saya divide by 9. So, bila saya divide by 9, saya akan dapat jawapan saya macam ni lah. Okay. Bagaimana untuk show it is a ellipse? Inilah cara dia, iaitu completing the square. So, repeat. Kalau from general form, nak ke standard, you mesti completing the square. Tak kisah untuk mana-mana subtopik. Daripada standard form, nak ke general, satu je. You perlu expand. So, harap you nampak benda inilah. So, seterusnya bila dah dapat standard form, you dah show ini. Makna dia kita dah kembali ke kita punya example 20 and 21. So, dari sini, you tengok saja, you boleh nampak tak siapa measure? Y-axis lah. So, makna dia graf you akan jadi tinggi lah. Okay, bukan gemuk, tinggi. Boleh? So, seterusnya nak carilah center nilai A, B, C. Dan seterusnya buat graf.
Standard form. Then, compare with the standard form and we will have the center C is equals to 6, 2. Followed by the value A is equals to 1, B is equals to 3, and C will be equals to square root of 9 minus 1. So in here we have B as a measure, or we can say the y-axis, and the A is the minor, and we can say X is the minor axis. So C is equals to square root of 8, or you may express your answer 2 multiplied with square root of 2. Next, kindly refers to the graph. So now we have to begin the situation with plotting the center. So where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1 and 2. So the center is located over here, where we have the intersection between the major and the minor axis. So here we have the center 6, 2. So kindly refers to the value A, where we have 1. So meaning that we have to shift towards the left for 1 unit. So in here we will have 5, 2. Next, shifting 1 unit towards the right. So we will have here where we have 7, 2. And it is called minor vertices. Five, 2 and 7, 2. Next, kindly focus on the B, where we have 3 units. So meaning that we are going to shifting upwards and downwards for 3 units. Kindly refers to the value Y, where we have the center is 2. Shifting for 3 unit, so we have 3, 4, 5. So here will be the situation 6, 5. Then shifting 3 units downwards, so where we have 1, 0, and negative 1. So the situation will be 6, negative 1. So that will be our ellipse.
So nampak? Sekali lagi, saya rujuk A adalah untuk kiri dan kanan. Rujuk B adalah untuk atas dan bawah. Kemudian C adalah untuk major kan? So dia akan bergerak atas dan bawah. Tapi slow-slow tak mengapa. Kemudian apa yang saya perlu buat adalah sketch graph dia. Okay. Bila graph dah siap, minor, major, vertices. Kalau you nak cari length pun boleh, tak ada masalah. So major length adalah ini darab 2, itu 6 unit. minor length adalah ini darab 2, 2 unit. Betul? Okay, so seterusnya kena cari foci lah. So kalau cari foci, bergerak atas dengan bawah kan, sebanyak 2 sub 2.
2 plus 2 sub 2. So located around here. Next part, 6, 2 minus 2 square root of 2. So the situation will be around here. So here we have our minor, major and foci. Next is...
So nampak tak? Semua saya tambah dan tolak. Okay, tambah dan tolak. Nilai A, nilai B, nilai C. So you kena pandai lah untuk manipulate kawasan ini nak bergerak di X atau bergerak di Y. Jangan confuse. So seterusnya adalah major dengan minor. Okay. So major saya dah cakap dah. Rujuk kepada ini darab 2. Minor rujuk kepada ini darab 2. Boleh? So saya dah bagi you 3 contoh. Okay. 3 contoh yang follow the flow. Daripada standard form mula sehingga akhir. Daripada general form mula ke standard form ke akhir. Okay, so seterusnya kita nak bagi situasi-situasi yang berbeza in order untuk cari equation for ellipse. Maksudnya saya akan bagi situasi-situasi yang berbeza. Mungkin saya bagi you major, vertices, mungkin saya bagi you foci, mungkin saya bagi you major length dan sebagainya.
So kindly refers to the questions. Find the equations of the ellipse. So meaning that what we have to do is to state the standard form. So x minus h bracket squared over a squared plus y minus k bracket squared over b squared equals to 1, where we have the standard form. The second part is to identify the center, where we have hk, followed by the value of a, b, and c. Next is to sketch the graph.
So nampak? Saya nak start saja ellipse, saya tulis dulu apa yang saya perlu. Okay, ini versi yang ringkas lah. Ini adalah maklumat yang saya perlu. Once saya ada saja ini, automatic saya boleh dapat equation of ellipse. Saya mesti boleh dapat.
In here we have the info, foci, and the vertices. So meanings that we have to refer to the graph. So given the situation where we have the foci is at 4, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we have 2 plus minus sub 5. So 1, 2. So let's say here is our situation. So we have to plus sub 5. So basically you have to press the calculator in order to have the idea where is the sub 5. So if referring to the calculator, actually the sub 5, it approximate at 2.24 units. So meaning that we have 3, 4, and 5. So the location of the F is around here. Meaning that we have 4, 2 plus square root of 5. Another one, where we have around here, -1, -2. So the situation will be around this part, where we have another F, 4, 2 minus sub 5. So meaning that the center is located in between the focus. So the center will be 4, 2. So as we can see, that is what we call a major axis that pass by the focus. Next, kindly refers to another info where we have 4, 5. So the location 4 and the unit we have 5. So let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So here will be the location for 4, 5. So I can say this is the major vertices. So meaning that in here we have the info, the value of B must be greater than the value of A.
Kenapa saya kata ini major? Sebab saya nampak di sini ada satu vertices, di sini ada foci. So, setahu saya, kalau dalam garisan ni ada foci je, automatic ini adalah major. Maksudnya graf saya adalah gemuk ke tinggi. Jawapan dia adalah tinggi. Bukan gemuk tinggi. Sebab major axis adalah Y. Faham? So, maklumat tersiratnya. Automatic B saya, nilai dia mesti besar daripada A. Sebab B adalah major. So, dari sini, di antara foci adalah center. Di antara major vertices adalah center. Boleh? Tengok saya buat vertices 4, -1. Okay, di antara dia mesti center. So, kita boleh tengoklah, ya. Nilai di sini, 4, 5 hingga ke center ada berapa unit. Kalau kita tahu dia berapa unit, automatic kita tahu nilai B. Dari F ke center, kalau kita tahu berapa unit, automatic kita tahu nilai C. Beginilah. So, kita guna nilai B dengan C ni untuk cari nilai A. Kalau kita tahu A, B, C, automatic kita boleh tahulah kita punya standard form adalah macam mana.
So kindly refers to the diagram. So here we have the value 2 and here we have the value 5. So the length is 3 unit. So basically in here we already obtained the value B is 3 unit. And we all know the value B is greater than A. Next, what we have to do is to identify the length for the C. Okay, so in here, the value of C is equals to square root of 5 because we are shifting upwards for square root of 5 and downwards for square root of 5. So the value C is equals to square root of 5. So kindly make use of the formula where we have C squared is equals to B squared minus A squared. So substitute the value where we have 5 for C squared and then we have 9 for B squared minus A squared. So A squared is equals to 4. So A is equals to 2. In here, we are going to determine the equation of the ellipse. So x minus 4 bracket square over 4 plus y minus 2 bracket square over 9 is equals to 1.
So, dapat pengalaman? So, kali ini saya tak ada ikut flow dah. Saya ikut suka hati je. So, apa-apa pun, kita kena ikut semula flow itu. Maksudnya, fill in the blank in order to have the answer. So, di sini kita ada situasi yang lain pula. Tapi masih sama. Konsep dia masih sama. You tengok saya tulis. Maksudnya, ini panduan saya. Yeah, panduan yang kedua saya adalah graph.
With the following info, where we have center 5, 1, a vertex 5, 4, and an endpoint of the minor axis 3, 1. So where we have the situation. So number 1 is to state the formula for the equation of ellipse, which is the standard form. Next, followed by the center, then the value A, B, C. Focus on the graph. So kindly refers to the info where we have 5, 1, which represent the HK. Then we have a vertex 5, 4 and one endpoint of the minor axis. So kindly refers to the graph. So now we have the center 5, 1. So here we have the center. So as we all know, the major axis and the minor axis will pass by the center. So kindly focus on the info where we have 5, 1 in the center. Next, we have the vertex 5, 4. So refers to the Y. So where we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we have the point 5 and 4. Next, we have an endpoint of the minor axis 3, 1. So here we put the location of 3, 1. So since this is the minor, so meaning that the value of B is greater than the value of x, because the minor is only 2 unit. So it refers to the value a, because it's on the x-axis. Next, we can refer to this part. And we notice that it is 3 unit. So it is shifting around the y-axis. So the value b is 3. So from this part, we can state that x minus 5 bracket square over where we have 4 plus bracket y minus 1 bracket square over 9 is equals to 1. So here we have the standard equation of an ellipse.
Nampak apa yang berlaku? Berdasarkan diagram ini, kita cuba faham minor axis. Dia dah bagi tahu you minor axis. So 3, 1. So ini 3, 1. Mana dia? Major you adalah y kan? Tapi kita tak perlu cari nilai c. Kali ini tak perlu cari nilai c. Sebab nak dapat standard form, kita perlu center A and B. Berdasarkan diagram, kita boleh tahulah kita nak maklumat apa. Dan berdasarkan maklumat yang ada, wujudkanlah standard form. Harap anda dapat pengalaman. Yang ikut flow, dapat pengalaman. Yang tak ikut pun, dapat pengalaman. So, sekarang saya akan bergerak ke example 23C. Situasi yang sama, saya tak ada bagi you satu flow. Saya bagi ikut suka hati je. Melalui info-info ni, dapatkanlah standard form.
With the following info, where we have the foci 3, 5, 3, 9, and the length of the minor axis is 8 unit. So first, kindly refer to the diagram. So where we have the foci 3, 5, and 3, 9. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So where we have 3, 9, and we have 3, 5. So as we all know, here we have 4 units. So in the middle of the focus, where we have the center. So means that we have 2 units difference between the center. So here we will have 3, 7 for the center. And as we all know, the major and the minor axis will pass by the center. So in here we have the focus and the center. And after that, we notice that this is the major axis. And the minor axis is 8 unit. So the length of the minor axis is 8 unit means that we have to divide by 2. So we will have 4. So meaning that we have to shifting 4 units to the left and to the right. So meaning that the value for A is equals to 4. And the value for B is still not sure. And the value of C is equals to 2 unit. So by referring to the formula, where we have C squared is equals to the value B is the major. So means that the value B is greater than A. So B squared minus A squared. So where we have 4 is equals to B squared minus the A squared where we have 16. So rearrange the situation and we will have 20. So B is equals to square root of 20. So kindly refers to the standard form where we have the center 3, 7. And the value of A is equals to 4 and the value of B is square root of 20. So x minus 3 bracket square over 16 plus y minus 7 bracket square over 20 is equals to 1. So here.
So, nampak? So saya harap ya, 3 contoh yang depan saya bagi you standard. Iaitu, major axis adalah X, major axis adalah Y. Kemudian saya bagi you general form, then saya tunjuk macam mana saya transform atau saya modify atau saya convert daripada general ke standard. Kemudian kembali ke landasan yang biasa iaitu ikut flow 1 until 7. Refers to example 23, saya bagi you 3 situasi. Iaitu saya bagi you macam-macam info, then you merujuk kepada graph, you dapatkan you punya standard form. Okay, so saya haraplah you faham apa kekuatan dan kelemahan ellipse.